Dan Bilzerian created a garage so incredible, it even makes Hollywood envious. We're beginning with the most outrageous one right at the start, Shelby Cobra. Let's start with an absolute icon, the Shelby Cobra. Dan's take, valued at an astonishing $1.8 million. Yet, here's the catch. It could possibly be fictitious. Indeed, there have been widespread rumors online suggesting that Bilzerian's Cobra is a replica featuring a contemporary engine inside. However, Dan is unconcerned. Why? He previously competed with this beast against a Ferrari in a $400,000 wager and triumphed. That's the type of disorder we're referring to. The blue and white racing stripes on the car give it the appearance of having come directly from a Hollywood movie, and truthfully, it could very well be. Is it an authentic original from 1965? Or merely a thoughtfully crafted contemporary replica? Dan has never verified. Yet that enigma, that's precisely what makes people engage in conversation. Mercedes-Benz G63 AMG 6x6. 6 tires, almost $1 million, and sufficient torque to remove a house from its foundation. Introducing the G63 AMG 6x6, a vehicle so outrageous, so excessively potent, it seems like it belongs in a video game. This is Dan's preferred car to display, and with good cause. It's Instagram treasure. One post featuring this monster, and you've reached 2 million likes. Designed for military applications and extreme off-road conditions, Dan drives it through Beverly Hills as if he's in a combat area. And who can overlook the notorious "Neighbors Hate Me" post in which he parked this tank in front of his LA mansion simply because he was able to? It's not merely a vehicle, it's a moving advertisement that shouts, "I'm richer than you." Rolls-Royce Ghost. When your routine involves exclusive islands, poker tables loaded with millions, and continuous jet-setting between continents, you don't merely drive, you glide. That's the reason Dan Bilzerian drives a white-on-white Rolls-Royce Ghost, the counterpart to his private jet. This creature is driven by a 6.6-liter V12 generating 600 horsepower. Yet it's not about velocity, it's about supremacy. The Ghost doesn't raise its voice, it softly says, "You stand before royalty." Within, it's more of a mobile palace than a vehicle, featuring silk rugs, a ceiling that mimics the stars, and technology so seamless it seems against the law. Dan relies on it to prepare for crucial meetings, or simply to unwind after an extravagant party aboard a 200-foot yacht. Each element is thoughtfully chosen, every space communicates a message. This is not just transportation, it's an entrance fit for billionaires, infused with confidence and drenched in meticulousness. Lamborghini Aventador. Get ready, as this is not your typical supercar showcase. Dan's black and white Lamborghini Aventador is an absolute icon. We're discussing 800 horsepower of a furious beast, specially calibrated to attract attention and cause whiplash. However, this wasn't a prize car confined to a display room. Dan resided in this creature. More than 100,000 miles accumulated from adventurous road trips, Vegas blowouts, possibly illegal desert races, and parties so crazy, the leather likely still carries the scent of champagne and gunpowder. This Lambo was not only speedy, it was renowned. It appeared in music videos, mansion parties, and even reached DJ Pauly D's hands. Yes, that Pauly D. Why did Dan sell it? Perhaps it was the right moment for a new plaything. Or perhaps the Aventador had witnessed too much. What if it were able to speak? It would require a therapist. Range Rover Stormtrooper. Affectionately called the Stormtrooper due to its striking black and white color scheme, Dan's Range Rover is more than just eye-catching. It's a formidable machine built to tackle disorder. Forget waiting in valet lines and grocery store trips. This beast has been elevated, fortified, and customized as if it's gearing up for the next Mad Max film. Dan's driven it far into the desert, charged through rugged paths, and even showcased it during significant arrivals. Equipped with personalized suspension, off-road tires, and a tech-filled cockpit, it resembles a fighter jet more than an SUV. While many Range Rover owners see theirs as a delicate fashion statement, Dan regards his as a battle-ready vehicle. It's a display, a declaration, and a moving emblem of managing chaos. In authentic Bilzerian fashion, it's not merely about the appearance, it's about how much you can test boundaries before reality retaliates. Dodge Ram 3500. Coming up next, the Dodge Ram 3500. However, let's be clear, this is not merely a truck. It's a moving stronghold that appears to have come directly from a military installation and into a major film. Dan grabbed the stock model and modified it with nuclear custom long-travel suspension, steel bumpers, bulletproof windows, blackout lighting, and, naturally, his signature logo laser-etched into the grille like a warlord's emblem. This device was engineered to plow through disorder. Waterways? It chuckles. Rugged paths? Play for children. There's even a tale that Dan drove it through Death Valley without stopping once, blasting trap music while smoking cigars and having girls in the passenger seat. This isn't about ease, it's about control. When the world collapses, Dan isn't summoning Uber. He's revving up this monster and cruising through the apocalypse with flair. M35 cargo truck. At this point, things start to become fascinating. The M35 cargo truck in his garage is not merely a large display of power, it's a tough vehicle forged from combat. What contributes to its legendary status? Dan genuinely employed it for practical heroism. Amidst Hurricane Harvey, when roads became waterways and disorder prevailed, Dan navigated in this military-grade behemoth, assisting with genuine rescue operations without a retinue. Sin filtros de Instagram. Simply, unadulterated action. While many influencers focused on sharing thoughts and prayers, Dan was immersed in floodwaters, performing the unimaginable, rescuing individuals. Whether you adore him or despise him, this action created buzz and astonished the online world. For a brief time, the party king turned into a local hero, and that's what distinguishes Dan. He doesn't merely possess war machines, he employs them when it matters most. Genuine truck, genuine influence, genuine display of strength. Fisker Karma. When many individuals face difficulties, they take a container of ice cream and watch Netflix excessively. However, Dan Bilzerian, he swipes his card on a $100,000 high-end electric vehicle as if it's a pack of chewing gum. Introducing the Fisker Karma, stylish, advanced, and exuding quiet confidence. This is more than an electric vehicle, it's a cruising declaration. Curved, matte surfaces, a roof with solar panels, and a cockpit that resembles a spacecraft. It's the type of journey you don't merely operate, you sail through life like nobility. Word is, Dan snagged this gem following a rough poker night, dismissing it with, "Cash doesn't buy joy, but it can buy this." To be frank, that's near enough. It might be electric, yet it still exudes luxury. Even when Dan chooses to go green, he ensures he's still showcasing his abilities on another level. Bentley Flying Spur. Midnight black paint that absorbs sunlight. Crimson leather that exudes opulence and peril simultaneously. And beneath the surface, 600 wild horses prepared to soar. The Bentley Flying Spur is more than a vehicle. It represents Dan Bilzerian's interpretation of a power suit. He supposedly snagged this monster during board meetings, since on Dan time, spending $200,000 is as nonchalant as ordering espresso. This journey isn't about showing off on rooftops, it's about closing million-dollar agreements with a grin. Even smooth, lethal. It's the vehicle you arrive in when you're making impactful decisions, not social media videos. Yet, understanding Dan, that smooth exterior conceals some crazy evenings. Perhaps a poker victory, perhaps a quick dash along the Vegas Strip. Regardless, this Bentley represents more than a business vehicle. It embodies powerful boardroom vibes on four wheels. 1970 Toyota Land Cruiser. In a garage packed with million-dollar hypercars and tactical monsters, this one stands out. Dan Bilzerian's 1970 Toyota Land Cruiser is the quintessential vintage display, a tough, desert-weathered monster that exudes awesome nostalgia. We're discussing vintage toughness with contemporary style. Surfboards tied to the rooftop, strengthened personalized roll bars, matte desert camouflage paint that appears as if it emerged directly from a combat zone or a California surfing movie. It isn't meant to dazzle with power, but to earn admiration. While the majority of billionaires pursue the newest Lamborghini, Dan alters the game entirely. This journey isn't focused on quickness, it's centered on narrative, a homage to enduring exploration, a representation of Dan's rebellious ethos. Do not obey, guide. When your way of life revolves around extremes, owning a classic icon like this isn't merely fashionable, it's iconic. Mustang Fastback. If you've watched Gone in 60 Seconds, you are already aware of the iconic Eleanor. Dan's Mustang Fastback is more than a vehicle. It's a thunderous homage to one of the most legendary muscle cars ever depicted in film. Dressed in that lethal silver and black, this monster appears to have just emerged from a cinematic pursuit, exuding confidence to match. It's noisy enough to shake rooftops and fierce enough to unnerve supercars. But this is where it becomes crazy. Nobody truly understands its origin. Dan has never revealed the complete story. Some say it was a replica from a Hollywood studio. Some claim it was specially made abroad by a deranged mastermind. In any case, it's not merely a decorative item, it's a significant part of cinematic history. In a garage filled with million-dollar beasts, this one shouts raw, unrefined American muscle theatrics. Jimco Buggy. Finally, but far from being the least, the Jimco Buggy. Or as Dan Bilzerian aptly states, a big toy for a big boy. This is more than merely an off-road vehicle. It's a $150,000 beast designed for the apocalypse, tailor-made to cause destruction on any terrain it encounters. We're discussing a blazing sand destroyer featuring gold emblazoned logos, heavy-duty shocks resembling those from a spacecraft, and a suspension system so fierce it could soar over a home and continue on its way. Dan doesn't merely store it in a garage, he releases it in the Nevada desert like a genuine Mad Max warlord. Clouds of dust, aerial footage, pandemonium, it's all a part of the spectacle. If society falls apart tomorrow, don't expect to find Dan in a shelter. He'll be racing across sand dunes at 100 miles per hour in this monster. To be truthful, you would prefer to be in the passenger seat. But here's the twist. What's the true gem in Dan's collection? Some believe it's the Cobra. Some people murmur about a secret supercar concealed in one of his storage facilities in Vegas. No pictures, no entries, only gossip. In Dan Bilzerian's world, that's precisely how he desires it. To conclude, here's a question. If you could take one of these cars for a test drive, just one, which would you choose? The spectral Rolls, the dune-dominating buggy, or perhaps the iconic Shelby Cobra with its enigmatic million-dollar secret? Leave your selection in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. Is Dan's collection driven by sheer passion, extreme status, or something more profound? Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. Because if you believe this car collection is wild, just wait to check out what's parked on Dan's exclusive island. In Dan Bilzerian's universe, the cars represent more than mere transportation. They symbolize access to a lifestyle that many can only dream of.